Okay, Chloe here. What we're gonna do is I got some questions on the last few videos, and you guys want to know, how do I change the color? So I use acrylic airbrush paint on 99% of my designs. So I'm gonna show you how I change the color in between doing nail art. Two things. One, I like to work lightest to darkest, but sometimes that can't be helped. If that can't be helped, then it really just depends on how much you put in the cup. Like, I know when I'm doing airbrush nail art, and I'll talk about this a lot in my beginner's course that comes with the stencils, highlight it here. What I do is, you only need 2 to 3 drops. You do. You only need 2 to 3 drops. I have paints here that I have actually had since 2020, and they still work fine. You see that? March 2020. That is when this paint was manufactured. Then I got colors that I use a lot of. Orange, and this is from November 2023. But the reason for that is because you don't need a ton. You don't. It don't matter whose paint you're using. If it's taking too long to dry, if it's too difficult, or it's taking a long time to get the paint out of the cup, you put too much in there. Remember, if you put 2 to 3 drops in the cup, you can always add 2 to 3 more if you need more. But let me show you. So let's flip the camera. Okay, so I have some One Air paints here, a nude, an orange, and a pink. We're gonna do an ombre. With any product or anything, you always want to make sure that you shake it up really good, because if you don't shake it up, the pigments are probably just chilling at the bottom. I do like these paints. I think I talked about it in another video where I was talking about, they have like the little shaker balls in there. And I don't know if you remember, like old school nail polish used to have the shaker metal ball bearings in there, which really helps you get things going, you know. When I first get my airbrush, I do put just a little cleanser in there to help it. Just run it through. And that was just one squeeze of cleanser. See how long it lasts? That pushing it along the needle on that air really makes it last a little bit longer. But I also want you to remember this. This is very important. Whenever you put cleanser in there, there's always a little bit just chilling in there. Right? So when you put your first drop of paint, you got to remember that cleanser is in there. So like I said, I work lightest to darkest. So I'm going to drop 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 drops. See where it is? That's 4 drops. Why do we do 4? Because I got a little cleanser in there. And when the paint mixes with the cleanser, it does make it like kind of thin. And I'm going to go real light on this ombre. This is acrylic paint. I'm airbrushing over a matte polished nail. So I do 2 coats of gel polish or whatever color I want on the base. And then I do 1 coat of matte and I cure. It is matte to shiny, so it's almost dry but not quite. And then if you look in the paint cup, let me see if we can get a little focus on it. Just about out. And you see the color getting more solid, like I'm just adding a little bit more. But look how much paint's still left in there. And that was just 4 drops. 4 drops and we still going. 4 drops and we still painting. So that's why I'm saying, don't put too much. You don't need a ton. 4 drops was technically too much. So the next color I'm going to do is going to be this orange. Now, I will link the, all the supplies at the bottom. So let's just do 3. 1, 2, 3. Why are we only doing 3? We're only doing 3 because we don't need that much. Remember, we just did it with the lighter peach, and guess what? That was too much. See, I did 1, 2, 3rd spray. The color is in there. That's it. But I also made sure I sprayed it out. technically you would spray it in the cleaning pot. Right? That's just where you spray the excess, or where you spray the cleanser. But you see that orange is in there. So let me, this was really just for practice. I didn't really need to do any part, but and we can see the difference. Got that darker orange laid down in there. Got that darker orange laid down in there. Also notice I'm not super close to everything. The acrylic paint, it's easy. See them little 3 drops? Gone. That was just enough. But look, still got some paint in there. That's why I try to explain to you. You need to use less. Somebody did comment like it's taking so long for it to dry. I'm going to show you how I seal it also. But you see how much paint is still left? Because you don't need that much. Alright, so let's do, also acknowledge that these are in the same color family generally. And then we got this pink. So when I say lightest to darkest, 1, 2. That's why I do lightest to darkest, because if it's a color that's darker, then you're definitely going to see the darker color more prominent over the lighter color. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 because it's still a little bit more orange. 6. And that's our color. I only added what, 2 or 3? Let me just add one more little drop. 2. That's just 2 drops. But still, this is a 10 ml bottle. Woo! I love an ombre. It looks like it's on fire. Okay, so neons are a little bit thinner, so they do take a smidge more time to dry. If you do your neon over a pastel, so a neon pink over a pastel pink, color payoff will be even brighter. You can do it over a white, but since the pastels have a white base, doing a neon over a pastel pink actually just makes it brighter. You can still do the same thing with a white though, but that's just what I do. And that's it. And look, still got pink in there. Still got pink in there. And that was what total 5 drops. I'm telling you, when I say you don't need that much, you don't need that much. I got a darker color. This is another favorite brand. It's just hard to get this one in the US. Same with the One Air. I am the distributor for One Air in the United States, so I will link below. Darker color. That pink instantly gone. Instantly gone. So let's add a little purple. But you see, it doesn't take that long to change the color. We're 9 minutes into this video to change the color at all. It's really just you're adding too much in the cup. And then look, we did 3 drops. Look how much is still in there. 3 drops. Still pretty bold. And that's just 3 drops. Also, check out the precision on this handpiece. This is not a $20 handpiece. I love a good handpiece. And Iwata. Just now running out. That was 3 drops. I could have did 2. Now, before I put this up for the day, I am going to go ahead and flesh it out. And I do have a how to clean your airbrush video on my videos. And I also have it in the beginner's course. And remember, the beginner's course does come with stencils. But let me show you how we seal our acrylic airbrush paint. Okay, so you're going to need a few things. And I don't want to hear like, oh, it's just too many steps. It's not. It's the same amount of steps that is if you do hand painted nail art. Because whenever I do hand painted nail art, I do like to seal it with a base coat and then a top coat. It makes it last longer and it also evens out the levels. So first thing you're going to need is a buffer. I like to get the paint off of the free edge and the side walls, right? Because I have a matte top coat on the base and I just want to keep it from chipping. And a tack-free top coat is going to cure tack-free on both sides. It's going to be tack-free on the side that touches the nails and tack-free on the side that presents out to the customer. Because tack-free top coat would typically be put over a gel polish or a gel design, which has a dispersion layer that is sticky, it literally, that dispersion layer grips the actual top coat to the nail. Because this is a chalky finish, because it is a acrylic airbrush paint, we're going to need to put a base coat. Now a base coat is designed to stick to a chalky surface because it would ordinarily stick to what? Your natural nail. So I do my base coat and I just glide it over nice and easy peasy, and I make sure I hit my side walls and my free edge. Then I take this nail and I cure it in the lamp for base coat curing time, which is 10 seconds. Believe me when I tell you, this is the easiest application to do, is an acrylic airbrush paint. And I feel like even with the acrylic airbrush paint, you can actually mix and create better designs than you could with the gel one. Because I really don't love curing my stencils, even though, you know, you can. After that base coat is cured, you're going to just coat with your gel top coat, doing the same thing, hitting all the areas, all the sides. Of course, I grabbed the bottle with the least amount of top coat in it, but hit all the sides, drag it up, do your free edge. I feel like I hit that crazy. It ain't a lot of top coat in here. I'm really trying to make this on a wing and a prayer. But you do your top coat, sidewall, free edge, and cure. Now, you're probably asking yourself, Chloe, why didn't you just put it under a builder gel? That'll keep it from chipping. Let's recap. Okay, so like I said, let's recap. We're going to turn the camera so you can see me when I say it, so you can see the facial expression. We do not encapsulate it in a builder gel because it's the same thing. When you do a builder gel, you still have to do a base gel, i.e. something sticky that it can stick to create that sandwich and that actual adhesion. As stated before, the acrylic airbrush paint dries matte. A natural nail is matte. A base coat, a rubber base, is like a sticky two-sided piece of tape where it sticks to the natural nail and holds down any gel polish or gel product onto the actual natural nail, essentially creating a sandwich. The number one reason why we do base coat on top of our acrylic airbrush paint is because we need that double sticky tape type feel on the nail so that I can add my top coat and it can adhere. You want to encapsulate it in builder gel, you can do that, but you still will need to base coat first. Whose gel base coat? It don't matter. I use a little cheapie. This is Gelish foundation gel. I've used Koopa. No big deal. Biggest takeaway is going to be sidewalls and free edge. Get that paint off the sidewall and free edge. That way that base coat can grip to the matte top coat and keep it from chipping. All right, just like with any other service, you have layers to it. If you were doing a ton of hand painted nail art with gel polish or gel paints or whatever, you still actually should base coat that. Why? Because it's gonna help that top coat stick better and it's gonna level it out, right? Because base coat is self-leveling. At least the ones I use are self-leveling. Same with a rubber sticky base or whatever. So essentially what I'm saying is very clear, because I want to be very clear. You can acrylic airbrush paint on anything. Base coat after you're done. I do not airbrush on top of a sticky dispersion layer because it can pit. Here's the layers. 2 coats of gel, matte top coat, cure. Cure to 2 coats of gel, obviously. Matte top, cure. Do your acrylic airbrush designs. File the sidewalls and the free edge. Base coat, cure. Take it out. Top coat, cure. That's it. Do you have to do it like that? No. Will it still work? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know at all. All I know is this. When I've done it before, and even when people have expressed to me like, oh, I use it in chipped, I put in all the instruction and all the videos and all the voice notes that I send to people when they buy these paints. You need to do a base coat, then the top coat. Why? Because it works. And I'm going to put some of my 3-week wears here. Why do you want to go 3 weeks? I don't know. But look at it. It still looks good. Whatever. So this is the proof for the pudding. Alright? If you have any other questions about the acrylic airbrush paint, go ahead and ask them below. I am going to put all of the stuff that I use, where I get everything from, below. I am the American, like the North America supplier for One Air paints. So if you're in the US and you want these acrylic airbrush paints, I'm the girl. I'm the one that works with the company and gets it here to the States. Okay? Technically, I have like a limited supply because of the tariffs, and we're trying to figure out like what the cost is going to be. But don't worry about that. That's what I'm going to work with the company, and we're going to see what we can do. But if you want those paints, technically I have a limited supply right now. But if you want those paints, I'm going to put all the links below and to the beginner's course. Now, you can buy the paints without doing the beginner's course. You can do the beginner's course without buying my paints. You can use the paints with any stencils, all of that jazz. But my number one suggestion is, especially if you're new to airbrush, is get the beginner's course. It's under $50. It comes with the stencils. It remove all frustration when you start something new, and just get the beginner's course and work with it. About 2-3 days, you should be proficient and offering airbrush nail art to your clients. Period. It's faster. It's cool. You could do so many designs with it. Believe me. And yeah, it's low odor. It's no odor at all. Actually, no smell. Like I said, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them below, and I will get them answered. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Yeah, I think that's it. Have a good one. Bye.